The charro suit is a patriotic symbol of Mexico to which respect is owed, and it should be worn with much more respect during celebrations. Throughout history, we have witnessed how boxers from around the world have tried to belittle Aztec warriors based on their appearance or place of origin. However, when a symbol of their culture was used in the midst of a heavy joke, Julio Cesar Chavez had no choice but to leave his opponent on the canvas without showing any mercy. Welcome. In today's video, we will talk about the fight that marked the beginning of the end of Terrence Alli's professional career. Punished by the gods of Olympus, he made a mistake from which there was no turning back. Terrence Alli was a super lightweight boxer from Guyana, a small South American nation that historically has had struggles to establish itself as the country it aspires to be. Throughout his professional career, he achieved a modest record of 52 victories, 21 of them by knockout, with 15 losses and 2 draws. Even at the time of his retirement, he cannot be considered a significant figure to pass judgment on his colleagues. Despite residing in the United States and preferring to be recognized as American, denying his origins, he did not hesitate to play a bad joke on Chavez and all Mexicans by dressing up as a charro after the celebrations of Cinco de Mayo. Both Cinco de Mayo and September 15th are significant dates for Mexican folklore, so many athletes had already honored their homeland during these festive days for the Mexican community, both in the national territory and in the United States, wearing traditional attire in their appearances around these dates. Far from being a tribute to folklore and the traditions of this beautiful country, it was a boxer who cared very little about Mexico and resorted to this low action of profaning the iconic suit of a nation just to provoke one of its warriors. Finally, the bout took place on May 8, 1993 at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alli came with a great streak of 9 consecutive victories, making him an interesting opponent for the honorable Aztec warrior Julio Cesar Chavez. Chuck Champa, Chuck Williams, and Horacio Castilla acted as judges, although, spoiler alert, their decision did not end up being decisive, leaving the refereeing in the hands of Carlos Padilla. The WBC super lightweight title was at stake in a tough fight where Mexican folklore had to be honored by an Aztec warrior proud enough of his origin not to think twice about breaking his opponent. Anyone would think that provoking Chavez seconds before a fight, especially by offending his culture, was not the smartest decision. His record of 86 victories, no losses, with 74 of them by knockout, should definitely have warned that he was a formidable opponent you didn't want to upset. The bell rang and the fight began. Alli, in an act of arrogance, ran directly towards Chavez only to collide with a wall that would be difficult to penetrate.
He doesn't. He almost always gives a good showing. He's been in there with some big punchers. He seems to wind up in fights he's not supposed to and expected to roll over, but he...
In the first half of the round, Chavez remained evaluating the fighting behavior of an apparently planless Alli. It didn't take long for a right from the Aztec to make him stagger.
Some Chavez, he says, I can't see what the world sees.
Quickly, the pace of the contest changed. Chavez's aggressive offense was in motion and Terrence Alli was in big trouble. The Guyanese ended the round against the ropes, the target of a powerful left blow that, once again, made him lose his balance. From his expression, it was easy to interpret the level of concern that arose when he realized the magnitude of the fighter whose culture he had mocked.
Relentless. There he goes with the right hand that staggered Ali.
Alli seemed not to want to confront Chavez so quickly at the beginning of the second round, avoiding running towards him. Being more cautious, he had to base his strategy on his defense to withstand the daring attacks that the Aztec was delivering. Chavez directed a combination of powerful punches directly to Terrence's head for the second half of the round. As a result, the Guyanese ended up retreating to the ropes, looking like a scared rat being hunted by the fiercest feline he had ever encountered. Unable to recover, Alli went to a brief break in his corner with a defeat on the judges' scorecard. Surprisingly, Alli ran towards Chavez once again at the beginning of the third round. What he intended to use as an act of intimidation did not faze the Aztec warrior, whose posture was firm and courageous.
By Chavez, now stalking Ali against the ropes. He looks like he wants to end this now.
It was clear that Alli was not going to surrender without a fight, but his efforts were unable to translate into significant damage to his opponent. Chavez, on the other hand, took advantage of close combat to land left punches and significant combinations on the body and head of the Guyanese.
He also wants his 25th title fight without a loss.
You got to admire Terrence Alli. He's in here to do his best. He's not running like the other guys do. He's not protecting. He's trying to gamble. I admire him for that.
Combination to the head by Chavez.
Alli's jaw began to be the preferred target for Chavez's punches, flying directly towards it, even causing him to lose his mouth guard.
And so fearless in the ring, he actually is afraid to be alone.
3 hooks in a row.
And then returned it to Ali.
After resuming the fight, the exchange between rivals continued to be close. In the 4th round, Terrence had not managed to stand against the Mexican on the judges' scorecards. Receiving more blows to his jaw, the Guyanese began to need new mouthguards every now and then. Chavez used his good waist movement and incredible reflexes to dodge his opponent's sloppy attacks.
Get this guy out now.
Well, it looks as if he can do it whenever he...
Well, for the first time, his corner sent him out to finish. Buffalo Market said, okay, stop.
At the same time, he recognized the appropriate moments to land his punches in the exact spots, causing significant damage, working towards his victory with every connected blow. Chavez entered the 5th round with great confidence. Absorbing every blow that Ali could land on his body with great ease, he seemed to be letting his prey have fun before finishing it once and for all. The last 30 seconds of the round marked the beginning of the Guyanese's downfall. A right punch, little appreciated by the camera angle, would be the prelude to a severe punishment that made Terrence Alli retreat against the ropes.
Maybe looking for it.
Less than 30 seconds remaining, round 5. Look out!
Leaving his guard open, Ali became an easier target for the bombs that the Aztec warrior had recently added to his arsenal for the fight. Wait a moment. Before telling you the outcome of this fight, we would like you to take the next 5 seconds while the boxers go to their regulatory break between rounds to like our video. Remember, your support makes us stronger. Have you done it? Okay, let's continue. With the opening of the 6th round, it was easy to think that the contest would stabilize and become a long fight. However, Chavez, who had won all the rounds on the judges' scorecards so far, was tired of playing and went straight to demand respect for his culture. Like the aftershocks of an earthquake, Chavez's punches, as soon as the bell rang, began to shake the Guyanese's body, who apparently did not expect an offensive with that level of aggressiveness from his opponent so early in the round and came out of his corner exposed with his guard down. It was a powerful left hook to the jaw that finally made Terrence Alli fall backward onto the canvas, who got up immediately with an expression of astonishment and fear to continue the fight. The Guyanese had returned as if getting up after having a couple of beers sitting down. He seemed to have no speed or coordination at all in his movements. And Chavez, like a true gentleman, lowered the intensity of his attack, showing sufficient offense only to show the referee that his opponent was no longer in a condition to continue. Thus, Carlos Padilla stopped the fight, giving Chavez the victory by knockout. Before the events recounted, it was easy to point out Terrence Alli as a respectable boxer, entirely capable of making life difficult for legends like Jose Luis, El Zurdo Ramirez, and Roger Mayweather. However, his background did not save him from looking like a novice in the face of the greatness of the Sonoran, who gave him a severe beating and perhaps taught him one of the most important lessons he would receive in his life: to be respectful of the culture and folklore of others. The defeat against Julio Cesar Chavez served only as a prelude to what would mean the end of his career. From that moment on, Ali could not regain his warrior spirit to secure a victory, and after experiencing a streak of 8 consecutive losses, he decided to retire in 1997, with his last opponent being Frank Olson, who would prevail over him by unanimous decision of the jury in the 8th round. We thank you for reaching this point. We have a lot of content available for you, so subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. You wouldn't want to miss what's coming.